welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a magical day. And the lyrics today even more magical because today I'll be checking out two more songs from the album Moving Pictures of Rush. Today we're doing Tom Sawyer and Red Barchetta. I think that's how you say it. When we get to that song, I'm gonna try and read it again and see. But it's from the same album, and we have another two songs. We're gonna do the most songs from this album because it is their best-selling album, which means they're most known, they're most loved, and I want to see the reason why, the reason behind it, and I'm very, very interested to see like what's gonna happen in general, like the vibe of the songs, the lyrics, how they choose to introduce it, to have an intro and outro, how many guitar solos, how big is it compared, like their first album had big songs. That might just be me, but I was informed last week in the comments that the previous songs were also cut a bit shorter because they were like live or something or another. They weren't like the extended versions. And the extended versions in like Spotify would be longer. So I'm probably getting another short version here, or it's the actual song and it's yeah. Anyways, either way, very, very interested to see what's gonna happen and what's going on. I hope you guys are too. Excuse me, I ate a burger I cooked today, and I just finished it. That's why the human responses, human stomach working. That's a good thing. Okay, so let's go and let's see what's gonna happen. I'm very curious. I think this is a music video, and the next song we're gonna hear is gonna be live, which is very, very interesting.
A Monday warrior, mean stride. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
Okay, wait a minute. This is very interesting. This is giving me that that futuristic vibe because of that like that very UFO-ish, digital-ish kind of sound. That thing to it. And it's very, very interesting how they begin with it. I still like I love that we have Get Its Voice right away because we're getting back into the it's their song, it's their band. Like I identify that voice straight away. I'm like, oh, there we go. But yeah, it's so interesting. Also, that kind of shocked me because they started it and it's just like silence and it's like, and I'm like, wait a minute. But yeah, okay. Let's see. This is pretty interesting. Very, very interesting. Very short beginning.
A Monday warrior, mean stride. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride. Though his mind is not for him, don't put him down as arrogant. His reserve a quiet defense, writing out the day's events. What do you say about his company is what you say about society. Catch the mist, catch the myth, catch the mystery, catch the drift.
Okay, this is so interesting. The lyrics are very, as always, a bit deeper, a bit more cryptic. I like how it's like Tom Sawyer's like mind is like society. It's like that reserved. I'm assessing what happened before I actually do anything. It's like that processing things to like figure out like that appropriate response and stuff. I don't know if that's the actual meaning. That's what I'm getting at first, like observation and read, and I think that's fun. And I love doing that. I know people suggested like re-watching it and redoing it. The thing is, I feel like just getting that first like idea popping into your head of what the lyrics could mean is just something so fun and something I'm never gonna have again. So waiting until this has been interpreted completely and then reassessing it is just a bit off to me. I love doing this, which is just interpreting it as we go because it builds up, it changes, and I get to listen to. So I'm gonna forget. So having this recording, like the first instant thoughts, and then them changing and being like, oh wait, it's not that, it's this. Like, it's so interesting, and I love it. And I love that I have those like little videos that it's like, oh, that started like this, and I feel like it's going there, but it's, no, it's not. Or I'm proven right, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? It's so fun. I love those. But yeah, I also love that we have more keyboards here. I think this is the first time I see keyboards at least being played. I don't think I've ever listened to keyboards in one of their songs. Maybe in one of their audio ones, and because I tried paying attention to the instruments I already know were there, I didn't really hear a keyboard. But yeah, here we have a keyboard for sure. Very, very solid. Also that music break, that it's so catchy and so gorgeous. It's so good. It's so fun. It's so playful. At the same time, it has like a hard hit on those notes, so you know that it's not towards a more pop vibe, it's towards a more rock vibe, which is very beautiful. And it's just so, it's so beautiful how it also like went from that UFO-ish more electronic sound towards a more pop-ish approach, but with a deeper, darker rock like sound and heavy hit to it. Like, I like how I see evidence of like different genres, but they're not there. You just associate some stuff with it, and I see it in the rock genre, and I'm like, ooh, like that is fun. I like that blend and merge, and it sounds gorgeous.
What do you say about his company is what you say about society. Catch the mist, catch the myth, catch the mystery, catch the drift. The world is love and life are deep. Maybe as the skies are wide. Today's Tom Sawyer, he gets high on you, and the space he invades, he gets by on you.
Okay, here we're starting to embrace a more of the alien-like, kind of like UFO-ish electronic piano vibe, which is pretty fun. I like that. And I like how they brought it in now. They didn't actually like create it as we're going through the song. They kind of cut it off and just started reintroducing that in the background, and then now they're going into it a bit heavier. I like that they're not going full out because I still see the band and their identity this way. And it's a very beautiful, I think, and appropriate way to just get an extra like weird, more like blended, merged-ish genre sound in there. But yeah, I really like this. Also, the lyrics here, it's very interesting how the lyrics here are kind of very merged with the music. They're not as much as to stand out. They're kind of, at the end, they're fading into the music, because it's so close that you're like, oh, it's just like part of the music. So you kind of lose track of what's going on. And it's very, very interesting because it's the part where you would have to go back and recheck. Because you might, it's the purpose, it's to actually lose what's going on there. Because it's some of the most interesting and important parts. And if you just lose track of it there, you're like, wait, why did I miss that? You go back to it and you're like, whoa, wait. Like, it's very interesting how it's like that.
The world is love and life are deep. Maybe as the skies are wide.
Like here when he says, are white, like when he hits that, it gets you back into it. But you get lost from the point of like, life and love are deep, like they're completely on the beat with the music there, so you just start losing track of the lyrics and what's going on. So you start losing track of trying to interpret it, and you just pay attention more towards that beat, to that music, and it's very interesting how it's done like that.
Today's Tom Sawyer, he gets high on you, and the space he invades, he gets by on you.
We're getting a bit quicker now, which is interesting. So good. Okay, first of all, that blend with the guitar was so good. I loved that, and how they got the guitar in there. Like they had that guitar just do that. I love that. I love that. You can hear the difference, but because it's deeper, it's so gorgeous. I love that. I love that we had that. And then you have the guitar go in deeper, and it sounds so gorgeous. Perfect. Oof. I also love those bends, those appropriate bends there. Oof. And then it gets faster as usual. I love that. I love that we have a bit of a pattern, and we know that at some point it's going to get a bit more speedy because Alex can handle it, and he just does it because he can, and it's just every time the best. And it's so fun. And then he blends it, like all the instruments together, like sounds so good. And then you have like this one, which is more like super high up guitar, and then like that gorgeous deep bass that you can clearly hear because they're so far away from each other. They stand out so much more and give you that crazy good solo, like a duet moment, which I haven't actually thought that you could have a duet with a bass, because usually a bass wouldn't stand out as much. But in this case, it just works so well that I can just clearly hear which are which, and it's so fun. And you also have like the occasional amazing drum like parts that are just gorgeous to listen to. They brought it back to the original, like do 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 do. This is magical. This is gorgeous how they're changing it. And also, I've been waiting to hear, but changes. I've been waiting to hear the end of that sentence, and I can't wait to hear what it is because I'm very curious. But I love how it seems that I'm going in the right direction about how we had the lyrics. Yeah, so his mind is not foreign to any god or government. So he has his own ability to understand, comprehend, and like choose what he thinks is more appropriate and like do what he wants with it. So it's very, very interesting. I think I'm going in the right direction with the whole like his mind's like society, like you have to actually process things and then choose and like do stuff. You don't rush into things.
Always hope for your discontent. Those changes aren't permanent.
He knows that changes aren't permanent, but change is. I want to know what that is. Okay, let's continue.
Oh, changes. And what you say about his company is what you say about society. Catch the witness, catch the wit, catch the spirit, catch the spit. The world is love and life are deep. Maybe as his eyes are wide.
The fact that they can just this is so cool. Like they've deepened it, they've slowed it down after they quickened it from the solo. Now from deep we're going a bit more loose, a bit more light, a bit more high up. Now here, I also love the back to the like the full circle back. That's what I did here. Like he circled back into like in his mind is society with a few new lyrics and stuff. But I love that circle back. That is gorgeous. That was so perfect and clarified specifically the first lyrics that I was suspecting would be that, and it's so perfect and I love that. This is too good. I also thought of love and life are deep. So there's much more than just the surface level things that you could just come up with in a very second. And you have then maybe his eyes, maybe as his eyes are wide, maybe as much they're as deep as his eyes are wide from the shock of what's going on in the world. Maybe that's my interpretation. But yeah, this is so fun. This is so cool.
Exit the warrior, today's Tom Sawyer. He gets high on you, and the energy you trade. He gets right on to the friction of the day.
This is the one we're gonna watch after, but not the visualizer, something else. So this is super gorgeous. Like the way they do it, they just slowly climaxed it basically and then faded it out. Like that sounds so gorgeous. I'm guessing there is an extended one since that does fade out, but I'm not sure. It could be wrong. I also love the lyrics here of like the warrior, the newest warrior is like our age is Tom Sawyer because Tom Sawyer would go on adventures and things. So this is gorgeous. I love the lyrics. Catch the spirits, catch the spit. The world is the world is. I love that. I also love how he's a bit sharper in the end for this one. So we catch a bit more of and pay more attention to the lyrics here rather than in the beginning where it wants to be a bit more consistent and smooth so that the change afterwards makes more dramatic effect. Now that we're towards the end, we want to emphasize a bit more, so there's a bit of a sharper end there, which is pretty. It's very small details and they might not even be intentional, but to me they seem very, very intentional and they make such a big difference and I love that. Yeah, exit the warrior.
Today's Tom Sawyer.
Today's Tom Sawyer, like the one who sees things differently, goes on adventures.
He gets high on you, and the energy you trade. He gets right.
Gets higher than you, the energy you trade, the energy you give and give off.
On to the friction of the day.
to the friction of the day, to the tension, to the chaos, to the mess of our today's day. This is so gorgeous. I love this. This is done so well. I'm so like in love with this piece. This is so good. Okay, we are checking out Rush Red Barchetta. I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure what a Red Barchetta is. Maybe it's like a red farmhouse, like the one we had in the visualizer and the little icon up the top there. Like the pop-up video that popped in after the end of this first song. After the end of Tom Sawyer. But anyways, we're gonna do a live. It is at the time the album went out, so exactly then. That's very interesting. So we're getting a pretty accurate live, not like the 2012, I think, one of the first album live that I saw. That was a bit different. So this is gonna be pretty interesting. I'm very, very curious as to how it's gonna feel like, and how I'm guessing it's gonna be pretty different because every song has been pretty different from each other. But I have seen a few things that they keep consistent, and I see their identity everywhere. So it's amazing how they do keep that going with all the changes I can see still.
It's a song about a car. This is called Red Barchetta.
Oh, so Barchetta is either a name for the red car, or it's like the brand. I don't think there's a car brand or type that's called Barchetta. So it's the name of the car. Interesting. No. Nice, we have a continuation of that techno sound again, and that keyboard's back. Okay, this is really fun. They started with like a very loose do 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 do, and then with the drums they went do do, way faster, way more. You can hear the change, and it's so nice to hear that change because it gets you into like the alert mood of like, oh, like something's up. I love also how the techno sounds are way higher, and then you have that bass that's so, and the guitar that sounds so good down there. I didn't really do that one correctly, like the second hit, but you can hear that do 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 do, like that more like heavy hit, a bit faster, a bit quicker, a bit more like of a different tempo. The speed, I went back to like do 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 do. No. Do 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 do.
Jump to the ground as a turbo slows to cross the borderline. Well, I like the wind that excites that shivers up and down my spine. But now that it's mine, my uncle preserved for me an old machine. Open the
Okay, I love how we went into this like more apart lyrics and more like slowed back, like two more occasional like drum hits, like occasional musical hits. Like I like that because we had a very like that build up going forward was very fast, was going to be like get a lot faster than what we originally had, and now we're slowing down again, and it also fits so much better for this specific moment because it's that, you know, on a road you're driving with that car that's probably also convertible or something, like the roof just pops off. So apparently Barchetta is supposed to be a type, like a brand, I'm guessing, of course, since it's said like that. It's not like the name or something, like he called it a Red Barchetta. No, it's a Red Barchetta. It's the actual car brand type. I don't know how it is, how you call it. But yeah, I also feel like you have like that vibe of like, okay, the wind is blowing in your hair. It's very like you hit that slow motion feel, or that the car's going by and that air just hits you. Like you need that more relaxed, at least silent song musical time so that you appreciate and you imagine more of the air, because the air doesn't really do a lot of sound other than the like all that. So other than that, you don't really get a lot of a speed, a lot of changes in the music. So that's why they're slowing down, a lot more occasional taps here and there to go a bit closer to a ride with a car. This is so beautiful. I love how they're using that technique to do that.
In my head, shifting and drifting, mechanical music, adrenaline surge. But when we landed, hot and land oil, we sent to country air.
A lot less hits here, a lot more lights also in the guitar, a lot less like two, like that staccato. There's a lot lighter, closer to like the bass, like the usual sounds, or a lot of deepness or a lot of lightness. I mean, like that middle, which is very refreshing, having that two beforehand.
But when we landed, hot and land oil, we sent to country air. Sunlight on gold, the blue of the landscape, every nowhere. Suddenly ahead of me, across the mountainside, a gleaming alloy air car shoots towards me, 2 lanes wide. I spin around with shrieking tires, run the deadly race, go screaming through the valley as another joins the chase.
Okay, that is so appropriate. I love how we had guitar solo there. I love how we went a bit like a bit more with the bends and stuff. I like beautiful. And after that, we slowed down a bit here again because it was so fast. Like I love that. After like also after the lyrics entering here, when they stopped once again, we got a bit faster with the drums, more emphasis. I love those changes. They're pretty significant, like a signature of theirs, I think. Also those like crazy changes in between, I love them.
Go
Getting a bit slower there. I love that. That sounds gorgeous. Yes. Ooh, ooh. You hear that slowing down a bit too sharply and like. Okay, this is the slowest they've been until now in this song. Because you usually get that tutu, tutu. Now they're waiting double in between. Tutu, tutu. Like they're waiting double the time, which is very, very interesting. Also, that electronic sound is even slower towards like that perfecting, like slow down sound. Like that it hits so perfectly. Now we're back to the usual. That is gorgeous. That is a gorgeous ending. They slowly get rid of the drums after a full session. And then they're like holding on to it with like guitars. A bit lighter drums, not that specific like also like a guitar not holding that beat as much. I love that. I love that. I love that. That is gorgeous. That sounds beautiful. I love this. This is a very, I love how they just descended slowly to that. And I just didn't expect it because honestly they could have just gone back up to it. That happened before. That could happen now too. So that was just expected. I was like, it's gonna happen, isn't it? It's just gonna happen because it is. I love how storytelling this is. I'm not sure if it ended with him crashing or something. Because I'm not sure. He talked about meeting his uncle, which his uncle left in the car, which means his uncle is not there anymore. So does that mean he just crashed and like left? Like what is going on there? I'm not completely sure. I love how storytelling this song is. I love how laid back and relaxed it is at the same time. It has some beautiful music and beautiful work with the music. Sounds gorgeous. And yeah, I just enjoyed it so much. I love guitar that kept that strong, sturdy beat. I love how we had drums keep more of a light beat this time at the end specifically as well. I think it was mostly guitar that did that. I think it was guitar. I feel like it was guitar and I just didn't realize. I thought it was drums. It was. I think it was guitar. No, I think it was bass because it sounds very deep and I can still hear a bit of a lighter string instrument. So I think guitar just kept the beat going. And so did drums, and I think Getty, our bassist here and lead vocalist, of course, took a charge of that more sturdy beat. It sounds like it because when he stops doing that and re-enters, we get a deeper like sound, which is the job of the bass. So yeah, I feel like bass took in charge of that. And it sounds gorgeous and I love it, and it's again one of the best things that I heard in there, and that's another reason why I appreciate the bass even more the more I listen to songs like that. It's a magical instrument. I love it. The things that it does, like the deepness that it can go to and help like and provide that gorgeous sound. for a band, for a song, for anything. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications that will be sent, and see you guys on Thursday for the next reaction. Bye bye.